Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome to
filmmakers.
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 Hey, filmmakers.
Journey.
Take your seat. The journey of a lifetime is about to begin.
Hey, welcome to the Filmmaker's Journey. I'm Warren, and we are here with two special guests, two filmmakers from Las Vegas, Nevada, UNLV film students, correct? We got Rico, Martinez, Shepard, and Chris Cameron. How y'all boys doing today?
Good.
How we feeling?
Yeah.
Doing good?
Doing good.
How's the beginning of the year? Exciting projects, obviously. Two of y'all got, you've got one running the festival right now that you're in, right?
I am, yes, yeah.
So how did y'all kind of meet and start hanging out and, you know, become partners? Filmmaking duo, I would say.
So used to be a student here. Not a student anymore. So I switched schools, but before when I was a student, we have a mutual friend named Mike, and I watched an acting
Mike?
scene. Is it Big
The
Mike?
actor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big Mike who
tall. It's
recently
pretty big.
graduated, I guess. Yeah. But he's friends with Rico, and I watched like an acting scene with them together, and he mentioned something about also him being like in the military and stuff. So that's just how we connected. And long story short, became friends, started working on stuff together, and we've like piggybacked back and forth off of like each other's projects like for I would say almost like 2 years now, right?
Yeah.
Less than that, maybe
Almost.
year and a half, 2. So
Nice.
yeah.
So y'all more in like a project based, like you have something called Rico. Hey, check this out. You like are y'all more of like that kind of thing, or is it do y'all write together? Do y'all come up with ideas together, or is it more like Chris has something, Rico has something, and we'll work on both?
It's more like that. Yeah, Chris will have something written and already done in pre-pro, and he'll send it my way and like, hey, do you want to act in this or help produce it? And then vice versa. I'll have something and try to find a way to fit him into it.
I think what I like working with him is he's coming from the other side of the house. So I'm like technically like editing, camera work, lighting, or that's like the stuff I kind of understand. I understand writing too. I am not an actor.
Yeah.
So to have somebody who's like acting or like even like the producing level too, like stuff like this I'm normally not good at, or like something like like public face kind of work I'm not the best at that. So to have somebody who's a little bit more professional in that regard is kind of cool. And I think vice versa. But also too, what's cool with him and Mike and a couple other people I've met, I can send him something like a script idea, or like I'll send him like a clip of something we're working on. He'll just give me the straight up like,
That's the best. Yeah.
hey, here this sucks, or this is great, or change this kind of thing. And I think you need people like that, honestly.
It's like an on-field coach, like a quarterback, someone who's acting but still understands like the process of production, directing. Of I need you in this frame, be able to give that performance still there. I mean, yeah, that's why I advise like all actors to take directing classes or take producing classes, because I mean, my first time, like I started off acting. I remember my first time on set. It was like a party until the camera's rolling, and it's like a library. It's like really freaky. It's a very freaky process. Yeah. But yeah, it's really good to have an actor that can also understand what's behind the camera. But yeah, I mean, your military background, I feel like I connect with y'all. Like, I'm not in the military, but I was an athlete. So it kind of, tell me about that different mentality of like, kind of the same thing. It's like, oh, people complain about 5 a.m. call sheets, and it's like, dude, that's fucking nothing, right?
Yeah.
Because tell me how that mentality of being, in the military, transitioning into filmmaking, and how you can use that as an advantage.
Do you want to be wearing your headphones like that in the podcast?
It looks stupid.
Nah, dude.
It's
It's a style, dude.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of drip.
It's a style choice.
Well then,
You want to shut? You can shut the door if
it's
you
gonna
want.
there's no air in here,
Oh yeah.
so it's gonna get really hot.
I could just wear my hat like this for the rest of the
Yeah, put my head on.
I forgot they were on there, but then when you brought it up, I was like, all right, I have to come up with an idea to make me not look stupid.
You want to run it back, question-wise?
Do you remember what I said?
I do.
No. I know what you said, but did you want to do that?
Did we get it?
Yeah.
We got the question.
Okay, I mean,
Okay.
we'll cut it.
I
We'll
think
keep all of that in, actually.
Yeah, to keep this banter. Have the intro be the headphone. Yeah. Hey man, do you want to look like a dumbass or is
No,
that?
I mean, actually, I can hear something in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm still in the military. I get
nice.
out in 3 weeks.
Nice, congrats.
Finally, 8 years though it's
Wow.
been. So finally, nearing the end of it. But on a production side, it's helped a lot tremendously when it comes to like producing and behind the house stuff. Like call times and sheets and organization and getting stuff done. The military has helped drastically in that mentality. Now, as an actor, it's not helped at all.
Yeah.
Because in the military, it's very serious and it's very life or death. There's a certain way to do stuff for a reason. There's no room to kind of be creative in the military. That's just not what it is. And so as an actor, it's difficult to, or it was difficult. Well, it still is. Probably easier for some. For me, it's incredibly hard. But as an actor, it's all about, as Adam Paul says, fuck around and find out and being creative and playing around.
Yeah.
And that's just not what the military is about. So in a creative space, there's drastically two different worlds. On a production side, though, it's extremely parallel, and it makes it a lot easier to do that.
What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I was in for 6 years. I was a U.S. Army combat cameraman, which is a job that doesn't exist anymore, but it's essentially like public affairs. And the one, like maybe the one thing I could pull from it, because like he said, it doesn't really transfer over too well, other than like my job. I was working with cameras, so I was kind of doing like documentary style kind of work. But the other thing that does kind of transfer is like and I think he would agree with this too, your tenacity to deal with like just random BS that pops up. Like stuff that happens on set would be, I think, harder to deal with if you just didn't have like the right mental set to be like, okay, like what do we, like the last thing I made, we had helicopters flying over when we were trying to record like really crucial audio that just randomly popped up. We had some like big like, I don't even know what you call it. It was like a parachute thing on the middle of the
like a glider,
yeah,
like a paraglider or
so
something.
we shot out on like Jean Dry Lake Bed, and long story short, there was like this paraglider group or something. These two dudes out there that were like randomly flying around, and it's just like, wasn't planning on that today, but it's like that could have ruined the whole shoot, or I could just be like, okay, well, quickly, like what are we gonna do about this, or how are we gonna fix it? And that's where I think like my military brain kicks in, is like, okay, what are we gonna do right now? We have to solve this problem, so. But yeah, that would be, again, your tenacity to deal with just random stuff happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so impressive. Like, just off, not even the creative side, but like the discipline side. It's like just preparing and doing all these things. And of course, on the film set, everything goes wrong every single time, every single day.
Right.
So, like, being able to realize, like, hey, the stakes aren't that high. Like, if something goes wrong, on that side, like, the whole crew could die. But it's like this, like, the picture will be affected, but we gotta, figure it out, try to move on.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, just that discipline side. That's why I'm so looking forward to working with y'all one day. It's like having that same, let's get this shit done, type of mentality.
I would think too. I had a pretty good experience with both like really good leadership, like people who were like really, how am I gonna say this, like competent individuals, and then I also had a good experience with like really bad like leadership, and that was like good to experience both sides of that, to a point where I'm like, all right, I'm never gonna act like these people. If I have to like be in charge of like 10 plus groups of people, this is not what I'm gonna take, or I've seen bad examples enough of it time and time again to where I'm like, all right, if I were to be on a film set and I'm directing it, or I'm like producing it in some leadership position, and that that's not gonna do this, Yeah,
no, that's great.
But
failure's the best teacher. Seeing somebody fail, I mean, it's better. Adam Paul always talks about that, like being okay with failing. Like that was the biggest transition for me, because as an athlete, as a football player, if you fail in college, they're gonna pull your scholarship. They're gonna kick you off the team. Like, you got to pay for school now, right? So, being able to fail and learn and being okay with that is that was kind of the struggle for me, coming over from a different industry to coming to here. Like, being vulnerable and okay and all those different things, it's just all new to me, because especially as men, like, we're just so taught to keep all that in, and but yeah, that was probably the hardest thing for me.
What's do you think there's a transition pipeline? I mean, anybody can jump into film, but I'm noticing. Do you think there's like a transition pipeline with like athlete to filmmaker, or like?
I think so, just because the like athletics is turning so much to entertainment now. Like it's all about the commercials and the celebrations, and you know, a lot of athletes just love that. I mean, some people just do it to be famous, just to get the limelight. So I mean, this is kind of the biggest fame and infamous limelight industry they have with music. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, especially just everything to do with entertainment, is pushing towards this industry. It's the best industry in the world, so why wouldn't they come?
Yeah, I mean, well, you used to do football, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was your position?
I was a slot receiver. I was
Okay.
super fast.
So you guys are both offense.
That was free safety.
Oh, nice.
Defense.
That's defense.
Close.
But yeah, let's talk about y'all's guys' films. First, I got on the list, Last Man's Land, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that. I mean, was that your first kind of big project, big short film?
I don't think they're all. Well, what big? I wouldn't say big. We had a small crew on anything I've done, but that was like the biggest, I think, undertaking. You could say that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, we were out there. Well, so it was a 17-hour day shoot.
Wow.
And I made sure I asked everybody too if everybody was cool with doing that. But it was like a one-day shoot just to try and get everybody to work together and kind of stay together. And yeah, I mean, it was fun. We had a local actor named Jonathan James, who I'd never worked with before. Very good actor. He's in it. Plays a role. And then a good buddy Mike, a friend of mine named Mike, who's also in it. He's acted in a couple other things that I've done. So working with some crew I'd worked with before, and then trying to work with like new people like John, who I'd never worked with before. But yeah, it's, I don't know.
You're in post, right?
Yeah, we're in post-production.
Nice.
Yeah, post-production. So we're just waiting. I think we're almost done with it. We got waiting on like soundtrack and like a couple like sound things to be completely edited, and then we'll pretty much be ready to roll here. Hopefully mid-March, maybe. I'm gonna say.
And it's a POC, a proof of concept, right?
Yes.
For a bigger film.
It's so I have an idea for a feature with it, and I'd specifically like to make it, if it goes anywhere, I'd specifically like to make it in the state of Nevada. I'm not like anti-LA or like anywhere else like that, but I'm like very about trying to make like Nevada a film state, you know. So, but yeah, it's like, I mean, I came up with the idea. I was driving through. I have a parent who lives in Reno, so I was going from Reno back down to Las Vegas and driving through Nevada. Like, it legitimately looks like open end, like Wild West.
Why
like something
hasn't
out of
every Western been shot here?
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, it looks like something out of, honestly, it looks like something out of like Mad Max, like these small little pocket towns along the way. And so I was thinking like that was in my head, and then also at the same time too, this was like almost a year ago, because it was like probably summertime that I was coming up with this, and at the same time, people were like on the AI hype train, and I'm like, I'm not about it with like filmmaking. I think it's kind of a joke, but people were. I mean, it was just all over social media and stuff like that. And in my head, I was thinking, well, what's gonna happen? Like, what's gonna happen if like just all of this, like all, podcasting, like electric cars, everything just like shuts down for a second, or like, what are we living in a world if like all the technology, just goes to hell? And so. That's like, those two things were like how I kind of came up with. I'm like, okay, what's like specifically like a post-apocalyptic America, not even like a world, just an America look like that, and not like something like Mad Max where it's like an extreme like version of that.
Yeah.
More like stripped down. Like, okay, this is like 2 years removed from it. What does America look like? I'm assuming buildings are still standing. I'm assuming there's like places that can still be kind of rated if people were like looking for supplies and stuff like that. So that's kind of where my headspace was at when I was trying to come up with it. So
no, it's a dope idea, and especially like art, and like can't watch movies anymore. Nothing's working. I feel like you take I think Timothy Chalamet said this. It's like you take art out the world, and it's just a rock, right? So like, how would people respond to not be like, everyone would be so bored.
Sure.
What else to do besides go murder people and rob people?
Well, yeah, and I think I don't know. I'm not. There's like some post-apocalyptic tropes that I was trying to steer away from. I'm a huge like Western fan, so like the good, Bad, the Ugly is like top 3 movies of all time. So I was like trying to think like in terms of that too. Like, okay, what is like this world kind of look like, but like in a Western take, but we can also still make it like to make it modern, it would have to also be like in the apocalypse, I guess, or what would be called the apocalypse. But yeah, I mean that's. Again, that was like my headspace for it, is like, okay, specifically what does America look like? I wasn't trying to focus on like the rest of the world and what would happen, but yeah. And so if we can, I mean, we're gonna shoot it, post it, put it in a couple festivals, put it online somewhere, and then yeah, if we can try and pitch it, I'm writing the feature for it right now, and
oh, nice.
If we can get it somewhere or get the ball rolling on it, yeah,
get it to producers, film fest, get the hype going,
yeah,
social media, use the marketing,
so yeah,
that's the way to do it. All right, Rico, super impressive.
Hey.
One genre of film that you cannot make as a film student is a superhero movie. Oh, yeah. It's just impossible. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
We don't have the CGI. We don't have the we don't have anything. Mm-hmm. How'd you do it? Let's talk about
CGI. I'm just kidding. Yeah. So my film I shot last semester, or like 3 months ago, called Weight of Power, and it's a superhero film. And it's my second short film that I've directed and acted in. And the idea was I wanted to push the envelope as to what a student film could look like.
Yeah.
Because you don't see that.
Never.
You don't, from students or from independent filmmakers, you don't see something as ambitious as a ensemble of heroes. You might see like vigilante heroes because that's easier to shoot. Mm-hmm. You might see smaller scales, but you don't see a whole team. You don't see people flying. You don't see people controlling stuff with their minds. So I wanted to push that. But the idea was, how do you do that and still make a good film? I don't want to make a B film that just looks like, oh, okay.
It's gonna be in the Walmart drawer.
Yeah. So the idea was to focus on what people like, in my mind, what I like as an actor, which is drama, which is storytelling, which is kind of the gritty side of reality. But give it to you, the vehicle I choose to give it to you is I wrap it up in superhero fandom, right? I give us costumes and powers and identities and names and this lore so that it attracts you to watch this film. But then when you watch it, it's like, oh, this is a real dramatic take on this idea. So it was in pre-production for like 6 months. Was when I finished writing it, and then started the ball on cast and crew and auditions. And then once I got a cast, which I'm the only one because Mike was still a student, huh? So there's 6 main heroes in this film, and only 2 of us are students, and the rest were from Vegas, just actors locally that sought out the audition. And so it was 3 months of prep with the actors. So it was 3 months of table reads and chemistry and fight training leading up to shoot day, because my film takes place 5 years into this universe that I created.
Oh, nice.
And so the problem was, or not the problem, the obstacle was, how do I make this team of 6 people look like they've known each other for 5 years in 3 months? Because we just met. Me and Mike, we've known each other for 2 years now, but the other people we just met 3 months before we shot. So there's a lot of chemistry reading, a lot of hanging out, a lot of trying to get to know each other on a deeper level, so that on screen it looks like, oh yeah, these guys know each other for 5 years. And then the other aspect was, how do I hide the powers in a way that's unique and not just like, oh, because I don't have money to do Marvel, aesthetics and CGI and all this kind of VFX. So how do I shoot these people flying and controlling stuff and doing this kind of thing on an indie film level and still be compelling? I think we did it great. The rough draft is complete, but we got to run back and finish it. My editor, he works for Marvel, funny enough.
Oh, hell yeah.
So he's back in LA using the Marvel editing studio that they use to edit my film, which I
That's
think is
crazy.
cool.
Yeah.
So he'll be done with his side of it because he's actually he's helped edit the first 2 seasons of Daredevil Born Again.
Oh, nice.
And he's being called back, I believe. He won't tell me. So he'll be done in March because then he has to go do bigger and better things.
Yeah. Little Avengers movie that's coming out soon.
Yeah, so he'll go do some big superhero stuff.
Yeah.
So his side of it will be done, but then I had to do a bunch of stuff to it. So hopefully in May is when that is going to be shown to anybody.
So what's the goal? What's the primary goal with this?
I'm very ambitious when it comes to filmmaking. 8 years in the military. I graduated UNLV last year, or 2024, with a degree in politics. And so I've spent 4 years here at UNLV doing political science. And then I finally decided, let me do acting. So I'm fairly new to this. So I wanted to play catch up. And the best way, in my mind, to do that is to reach for the stars and just kind of throw out there. And so my first film was a very intimate, very small student film.
Yeah.
And then the second one was a very ambitious project, very out there. So with that in mind, I wrote this in mind to submit to Sundance of 2027, which is a very prestigious film festival. It's the top 5 in the world. Number 1 in the U.S. In terms of scope and what they kind of show there. But the submission rate and getting accepted is very slim. It's close to nothing.
Yeah.
This last year, there was 56 short films out of 8,000 that were submitted, and only 56 were chosen to be shown. So very minuscule.
Hail Mary.
100%. But the idea was, regardless if it makes it in the Sundance, the quality of a film that will come out of aiming for that kind of standard will be way better than if I didn't.
Like a short,
Yeah, so
you're right.
So the idea is to submit it to Sundance of 2027, which early bird submission is July, so I have till then. But then it will also be in the festival circuit up until that point to gain some recognition, all of 2026. And then finally released in 2027 to like YouTube or whatever it may be. But yeah, no, it's exciting because this is it's a proof of concept for an episodic that I'm planning on making. So the film that I shot was season 3.
Nice.
It was episode 6 of season 3. So it throws you right into this world that I created to get you hooked on it and asking, well, I want to know what happens before. Like, where do these powers come from? Why does this guy fly? Why is this guy an asshole? XYZ. And then I'll run it back with the same team and make season 1 and 2. And then regardless of if it goes anywhere, I'll still make it, and then YouTube or whatever it may be, because that's just an endeavor by itself.
Did you do the research? I think you have a really good chance of making Sundance because, when's the last time a superhero, even feature, has made it in the Sundance? I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Yeah, so this was my first year going to Sundance, 2026, and I wasn't able to see any shorts, sadly. I saw a lot of features and an episodic, and then I did my research ahead of time, so I watched previous short film winners from the previous Sundances before I wrote this, or as I was writing Way to Power, to kind of get an idea as to what Sundance looks for, and what's made it in the last few years or whatnot. Nothing quite like what I made in terms of genre, like superheroes. There is a few, I think, but they took a different route than how I did it. So I think I have as good of a chance as anybody in making it to Sundance.
Yeah.
It just depends on what they're looking for next year. But I'm confident that I'll at least be looked at.
Yeah. Just getting feedback. I don't know how big Sundance is into feedback, but I feel like if you get close enough, that they'll tell you something.
Yeah, that was the whole point of going this last year, was to shamelessly plug myself and
get
market and get to experience, first off, what the films look like, what gets accepted, what doesn't, and then talk to people and be like, hey, like, what's the in and outs of this festival, kind of like, what's the market look like?
Yeah.
Which I didn't get to do too much of because week 2 at Sundance is very film
watch heavy.
centered, but I think I got a good grasp on it. So definitely some editing notes I got to go back and give him to make it less of a Marvel feature and more of a
Rico feature.
Rico, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he finished the edit, the rough draft. It came out to be too long, but he did exactly the way I wrote it for this first run through. But already I can see like some Marvel pacing and like cuts and stuff that screams Marvel because you see it in these movies all the time. And I'm less of that, so definitely got to pull back on that for Sundance.
You could compare it to something like any inspiration, any like.
Yeah, the inspo was Watchmen.
Oh yeah,
huge Zack Snyder guy. Regardless of, I'm not a fan of his 4-hour-long
black and
cuts.
white. Yeah,
but I get it. But again, nobody wants to watch a movie for 4 hours, regardless of what it is. Like, dude, this is entertainment, not like whatever.
I'd watch 4 hours of Lord of the Rings.
Something like that is like historically and generationally amazing. Different.
I'd also watch like 4 hours of The Dark Knight if there was like a 4-hour cut of it.
Okay.
So
100%. I would not. So Watchmen, in terms of like the theme and the vibe, The Boys, which is a TV series, that was I took a lot from different hero genres. So in terms of the team aspect and how the team interacts with each other, The Boys, 100%. In terms of like the inner monologue of these characters, Man of Steel, and Superman's in that film, his struggle with responsibility and doing the right thing.
Yeah.
His family and blah blah blah, and then The Watchmen in terms of tone and theme and kind of the moral dilemmas that go on in that movie. So those three combined is what I use for this film.
How'd you get the Marvel editor?
Networking. So on his last film, Only Space and Time, which we worked with Adam Paul and Mari Takahashi, great actors. His first AD, Carlos Takacs, he's a...
Is that how you pronounce his last name? I think that
Takacs, yeah.
Sorry, Carlos, if you're watching.
He's a... he graduates this year. He's was a English grad student here at UNLV, and he teaches some classes as well. But he was first ADing for his film, and so we met on set, and I started talking to him about my idea, and he ended up first ADing for my film, so he's my first AD. But long story short, he works with the Marvel guy's wife. He works here at the school, or also in the English department. So his wife works in the English department. She helped him on his film. Carlos had a horror short film that he shot. The guy's wife helped him on that, and she convinced the Marvel guy to do some sound on that film. So through Carlos, I was telling him, hey, I'm doing the superhero film. He was like, oh, by the way, I kind of know this other guy who works for Marvel. I was like, well, let me have his email.
The web.
And I sat on it for like a day. I was like, this is a big fish, right?
Yeah,
like,
he's not going to do
worst
it.
case scenario, he says no, right? Or he doesn't look at it at all, which is fine, right? So I cold emailed him. I was like, hey, my name is blah, blah, blah. I know Carlos. Here's my film, my idea. I'm shooting these dates. Would you be interested in taking a look at it, reading it? He replied right away, which was cool.
Yes.
Read it. Got back to me like a couple days later saying that he liked it, and that he's willing to do it for free, basically, because he liked it that much, which is cool. We had some Zoom calls on because he lives in LA, so we had some Zoom calls to talk about specifics and how we're gonna do that, because he lives in LA and I'm here and blah blah blah. And then he drove down from LA. We had coffee. Finally met him in person, and nobody told me this guy is like 6'7", Right, so
Like height, 6'7"?
the height, yeah, height-wise, he's like 6'7".
Wow.
So I walk into this coffee shop, and the tallest guy there, I'm like, it can't be him. I'm like, please don't. I'm 5'7", so I'm like,
He's on the Nuggets.
yeah, like not that guy. And it was him, so massive dude. His wife is here, so he travels a lot back and forth. But yeah, no, he liked the story enough, and the vibe is Daredevil-ish. Is kind of I'm a huge fan of Daredevil and like the Punisher.
Yeah.
So the vibe of my film is like that, and he just got done working on Daredevil, so it was right up his alley. So he said he'll do it, and then we had some conversations about it, and yeah, now he's doing it. So just cold email.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's next for y'all boys? I know y'all got some stuff coming up. Right? You got an action short.
I do. Yeah. So I'm 26, which is young.
Yeah.
But in my mind, because I already have a major, I spent 4 years getting a major or a bachelor's degree, and then I decided to do film. And so all my film friends are either graduated or they're like 4 years into this venture of acting and directing and blah blah blah. And this is my second year, and I'm graduating in May. Again, I expedited the process. So in my mind, I'm behind. I'm like, I got to catch up, or I got to get ahead of these guys. So how do I do that? I can either spend the next 4 years making small like stories that are great, that's fine, or I can expedite it and just shoot for the stars and just back to back. I'm a huge believer that obviously quality over quantity, but there's no reason why you can't do both. I think there's a fine line between doing too much and not doing enough, and then at the same time there's a fine line between doing stuff that's okay and then doing stuff that's amazing. And if you can find that fine line, which the military has helped a lot in terms of scoping that out, there's no reason why you can't do both. And so for me, weight of power is in post-production. And then I'm in pre-production. I shoot next month, a month from now actually, a period piece. I'm a huge Greek and Roman guy in terms of philosophy and history. So I'm shooting a Roman film.
Wow.
About these soldiers having this like campfire and this it's a action drama, I guess. But in Roman history, they believe in Elysium, which is kind of their version. I would say heaven is the closest. It goes deeper than that, but so anyways, yeah, these Romans are having this conversation about Elysium, and then they get ambushed by a bunch of cannibals because that's the action side of it. And so it's part historically accurate. The time period and the set design is as accurate as I can get it, but then the story itself is fiction because history's boring, kind of. So you gotta give your creative liberties to it. But yeah, that one's in post-production. It's been in post or pre for the last like month or so. So that's the next thing coming up.
It's the perfect time because Odyssey's about to drop in
100%,
couple
yeah,
months.
yeah.
So
Odyssey, I'm excited for that one.
people are going to be down for the Greeks.
4-hour cut of the Odyssey.
I'd watch that.
There's some things that could survive for it, but my issue is like when it's been released already, and then you try to re-release it 2-3 years later with
the 10-minute.
It's like
scene.
maybe just don't leave the project in the first place.
Yeah.
Obviously, he had a reason to, but in my mind, I'm an asshole, so I'm like maybe just stay on the project, or if you have to leave because of family and stuff, then don't whine when they change it.
Yeah.
You left.
Yeah, but
I don't care.
They didn't. But the guy they chose to direct it is not. Who was it? It was the dude who did the first
It's
Avengers.
Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's he done since Avengers?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what has Zach done since?
The zombie movie. The Las Vegas
Rebel
zombie
Moon, but where'd that go?
Yeah,
Netflix.
no, it's
I love him. I love Zach. I'm not hating on Zach. I think he's a great director, and I think his vision is great. I have a bone to pick with complaining about your own.
Did his
demise.
daughter die or something?
Yeah, she did.
It's
Terrible.
Yeah.
100%. I feel for him. Very valid reason to leave a project, but then to complain about it when it gets changed because you left, it's just like, dude, that's just life. Like, I don't know. Move on.
So what we'll do is we'll take Rico's Greek drama
Mm-hmm.
and we'll play back-to-back with Zack Snyder's Greek drama.
Yeah, I think your
300.
chances of working with Zack Snyder are right after this. I hope he
Yeah,
doesn't
we won't
watch
release
this.
it, Zach. Like, I'm sorry, dude. I'm just
We have to
saying.
make a cut for Zach. But yeah, what about you, Chris?
Right now we got a horror film that you can watch online on YouTube called Only Space and Time. It's cosmic horror. It stars Mari Takahashi, who's like a Las Vegas local actor. I'm not going to speak on these actors because you can look them up for yourselves, but they're all very, very popular. Adam Paul, professor here, but also has some notable credits as well too. This guy here.
Yep.
What
like
have
the
you done?
security guard, right?
What movies have you been?
I've done a lot, dude.
But no, yeah, he plays. They both play like two FBI agents who are investigating this woman, and then we have Mike, my friend, who is secretly playing the creature, the monster in the film too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But yeah, I mean, it's we originally made it for there's a YouTuber named Jacob Owens. We made it for his horror film competition, and we thought it was going somewhere, and then we didn't get accepted at all. So that was kind of a bummer. But I kind of took that with a positive chip on my shoulder. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to see where else I can put this and see. I feel like this still has life or still has some legs on it. So I submitted it to a bunch of short film festivals, but more so specifically like horror film festivals, like Sin City Vegas, the one that's happening I think in September or October. I submitted to them, but like throughout the year, there's like a couple different horror film festivals I submitted to, and it seems to be getting some traction with that as well. Mari just won an award at the Nikola Tesla Film Festival for Best Actress for it. It got picked up on some online festivals for like semifinalist stuff too. So it's cool because I'm not super big into horror. I like horror movies.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of like good horror films, like if they have a good story. But I didn't think the horror genre would be as welcoming as it is, which is kind of cool. So exploring that a little bit. I'm also learning too, like throughout the festival market, like horror films are very divisive. Like if you submit it to one that's not a horror film festival, I guess they're gonna be like, "No, we're okay. We don't want to see it."
No, that makes sense.
But on the flip side too, yeah, the submitting it, and talking to people who run like, there's Sacktown Film Festival, which is in Sacramento. They accepted it, and they seem to be a group of people who enjoy horror films, so they're very welcoming of it, and they want to see it, which is cool. So, but yeah, it's for right now. It's got some life, which is cool, and like I said, it's on YouTube. People can watch it. I'm a fan of like The Thing.
Yeah.
H.P. Lovecraft, all these like weird, like kind of sci-fi horror tropes or stories, I guess. And then I'm a big fan of like the classic Twilight Zone, and so I was trying to come up with like an idea within that world or kind of like hemisphere, I guess, of like where can I like combine these two, or what can I do with like these two ideas or subject matter. I knew I wanted to make something sci-fi-ish in the realm of like weird that the Twilight Zone is like, or kind of known for, the uncanny valley kind of stuff, so but yeah.
So what's the goal, right? What's the goal? Y'all are making all these short films. Like, what is the dream scenario for your careers?
If I'm speaking for myself, I'm not a huge festival guy in terms of like, I'm not trying to win awards necessarily. I put it in for these guys. So everybody who worked on my stuff, I would like to see them essentially get their flowers or get their kind of, I guess, just due. So if they win awards and stuff, that's cool. Me, I would like to make stories or, write stories and create films, and also hopefully get paid at the same time to make some profit off of it. But I enjoy movies for like what they are. I'm not like shooting for award season necessarily, but I do want to make good content nonetheless. So I just don't want to make like the next Michael Bay blockbuster that has no gripping,
no heart at all.
I do want to make something. Any story I try and create, I want to make it with heart. But yeah, I mean, that would be the goal, is to make films that actually get into the theaters, or even I'm not against. I'm a big fan of like stuff that's going on streaming right now. A lot of TV shows I think have like really good writing. So even if I was able to work on some kind of streaming show, something to like the level of like Fallout or Game of Thrones, that'd be sick,
But the goal is to become a director, right?
Sure, yeah.
And make a feature eventually, right?
Yeah, directing or writing. I'm a fan of everything else. I'm a fan of like like DPing and cinematography, I have like a lot of respect for it, but the main priority is that never will you ever see me act, and if you do, it'd be a rare occasion. So I leave that to people like them. But yeah, directing or writing, 100%.
What about you?
I'm an actor first, and that's the one thing that I do is act. The only reason I got into directing and writing my own stuff is aside from auditioning for friends and other people's stuff as an actor, I got into acting to be everything and anything other than myself, to play and to go and fuck around and find out. And the best way to do that is to go and do these roles that are not you. But nobody at UNLV was making these roles that was not, that I could totally just get lost in. And so I was like, well, instead of waiting for somebody to make the role for me, I'm just going to make it myself.
It's the best way.
And so everything that I direct and write, I give myself a role in it as a character that I don't necessarily see myself as, so that I can challenge myself and be that character for my reel. So the end goal, and there's kind of two sides to this coin, is to be an actor in Hollywood, right? I think that's the main. Any actor would want to be seen and have stuff as good as Game of Thrones and Fallout, and be in that and be known for that. So the two sides of the coin is Tom Cruise. Yeah. I want to be the next Tom Cruise.
Action star, yeah.
We're both the same height, 5'7". But I want to be, the last, he's the last superstar of Hollywood. The last, like, big movie action star or whatever. And then on the creative side of the coin, I want to be, as an actor, like Daniel Day-Lewis. I want to be able to just get lost in these roles and have an impact on these films that I'm in. And so, that is the goal, is to be able to creatively express myself the way that Daniel Day-Lewis does and is known for, and be able to retire and still, like, have my stuff be watched because of how lost and how creative it may have been. And then the other side is to be as known and as big as Tom Cruise in terms of size.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I think any actor or any person in film, whether it's the writer, DP, a PA, has a little bit of selfish intent. Right? We all like the limelight. We all like being in front of the camera.
See your work be seen.
Yeah, 100%. We want our story to be seen.
Yeah.
In some way, whether it's the writing or the acting. And so that is the overall goal, is to have my story be seen.
What's your favorite Daniel Day movie? Besides There Will Be Blood.
So I grew up watching, because of school, The Last Mohican.
Yeah, great.
And The Crucible, which I think The Crucible's great. It is a terrible story.
Yes.
In terms of, like, history. Like,
yeah.
So it's a great film, great story. But in terms of, like, history, because it's based off of, or loosely, I guess, on real events that happened. Terrible what happened. Like, pisses you off. But he's great in that. He totally gets lost, and he's convincing in every role that he's in, and that's what makes a great actor. And my thing is to be able to convince you that they're that person, that character that they're playing. And Daniel does that flawlessly and everything.
He never sells out either. He never takes a role that's not challenging.
No, 100%. And he came out of retirement to do. I haven't seen it because I don't think it's out yet. But he just acted in something. Yeah. Like last year, I think, or 2 years.
Yeah, his son's a director.
Yeah.
That's the only reason he
came out of retirement because his son's directed something that he's in. And so I'm excited to see that when it comes out, or when I'm able to. I don't know if it's out yet, but.
Have you watched Game of Thrones, or not Game of Thrones, Gangs of New York?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
he's great in that too.
Gangs of New York is excellent.
Lincoln,
it's
a really good one.
He was walking around set.
Yeah. Now there is, like, as an actor, we can talk about method acting and kind of how people take it too far.
Yeah.
And there's some Hollywood actors out there who do take it too far, 100%, or maybe seen as taking it too far, right? Daniel Day-Lewis is one of those where some of his methods are like, really? You don't need to be acting like Lincoln offset, right? When the camera's not rolling, you can go back to being you. And that's just people's methods. I'm not a method actor. I do think it's not easy, but it is possible to just go back to being you.
It is.
At the end of the day, this is fun. This being 8 years in the military and whatnot as a vet, soon to be vet. this isn't life or death. This is fun.
Yeah.
Like as serious as it may be as a director, like I want to see my stuff. Like I want you to work on set to make my story come to life. It's not that serious at the end of the day, right? So if there's a plane flying over set, okay, cool, fuck it, keep rolling.
We'll wait 15
Right?
minutes.
Or we can wait. Yeah, it's not that. We can come back tomorrow, or if not, because we only have 2 days of shoot, we can run it back next month or next year. As shitty as it may be, it's still not life or death. It's still not, sitting in the Middle East in a fob, getting shot over your head, or sitting in a foxhole. Like it's not that. It's I'm pretending to be a superhero on screen.
Yeah.
The least I can do is not be an asshole to people and be myself when I'm offset, which is a big obstacle when it comes to directing and acting in my own stuff. Is those are two different hats. Is directing and acting, and figuring out how to do the two is extremely hard.
Yeah, it is.
But it is possible, and
Yeah.
I think I figured out a sweet spot of how to do it without totally sacrificing my performance in either one. But
I think there's a lot of trust in the crew as well.
it is 100%. It's letting go of your ego as a director. A lot of people in film have an ego. That's just, it happens. Right?
You do?
100%. At some point,
news
I think
to
everybody
me.
has an ego. What changes is the size of it and how you kind of
Portray it.
portray it. But everybody has an ego. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think how you portray it could be a bad thing. But what you see mostly is directors have an ego, right? It's their baby, it's their project, or the writer. And so if they're both, it's extra terrible because they wrote it and now they're directing it. And in my case, I was producing it too, so now I'm a total asshole.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've been here since
Mount
pre-production.
Rushmore.
I wrote it. I'm gonna direct it. And then some
Birth this child.
100%. Like I want it to be the way I want it to be. And then some directors even DP it themselves, which is even more extreme because it's
Another
like
one.
I want to control all of it. But the fine line between that is being able to trust people that you ask to be on your set as crew or cast to do their thing, right? Like my DP completely trust that he's able to do what he does, even if it's different than what I wanted. It's going to be better than that. Kind of a rule that I have on my set, unspoken, is the people I ask to be crew, in my mind, I ask them because they're way better filmmakers than I will ever be, in my mind. And by doing that, by having all these talented people that are way more talented than me, the film's going to be better off.
Yeah.
Right? If I am the smartest person on set, it's probably going to be a shitty set. It's going to be a shitty movie if I'm the one that's at the pinnacle of this creative vehicle. So in my mind, I'd rather have my PAs be creative monsters on set.
Push you.
Yeah, to make this production what it is. So that's kind of the fine line between that, is not having an ego and trusting your people to do their thing.
So it is a team sport.
You're
never
trying to act, or what's
Yeah, I love acting. I come from, family, not necessarily, but I've been kind of acting my whole life, not professionally or anything, but yeah, I love acting. I love the craft. I've read probably 30 books on it. I just love, not necessarily just doing it, but just like learning processes and how it works and how it became this from the Russian theater in 1890, like all that stuff. I love that. I love acting. But I just love storytelling as well, directing, writing, all that. So I kind of just want to, be a little bit of everything.
cool? Are you specific, like, is there like a genre, or like can you see yourself jump comedy?
Dude, it's all about the story for me. Like, if
Okay.
it's a good story, I'll do a rom-com. If it's a good story, I'll do a, dystopian. Like, it really doesn't matter. It's
Cool.
all, I can watch any genre of film as long as, the backbone is there, right? You see the top 250 movies on IMDb, they're all different genres, but they all come together and have that great script, great story, great performances. Like, that's what it's about for me. But I don't really like horror. Like,
I'll put you in my next
yeah,
horror film. That's sweet.
Yeah, I
I'll
don't
pitch it
really,
to you.
I don't get it sometimes. Like, when a horror, like, I didn't like Hereditary that much, and I know that's a big thing, but I just, like, I don't know, I just feel like they didn't when it's horror, I want everything explained. I want to know all the lore. I want to know every single piece of why this happened, why that happened. So, like, a lot of horror movies, for me personally, that I've seen, kind of push away from that and focus on, like, the scare factor or, like, the creep or the feeling, which is cool because we make movies to have an emotional response. But I like when I read the story, even if it doesn't make sense, like I know every single thing in the back of my mind of like what happened 20 years before this, 30 years after. So yeah, I feel like horror sometimes goes away from story or like it all connecting. Like Interstellar for me, I love Interstellar, but I don't like how you don't understand what's going on to the very end. Like me personally, I know it's great. It's a perfect movie, right? But like me, I'm like, I want to know, like, why doesn't all this, like, I have to rewatch this thing to get it all. Maybe that's just because I'm an idiot. But, Christopher Nolan, sometimes will have you confused to the very end, but that's what makes the end like, oh, that's why this and this and this happened. So, yeah, I'm big on, like, every minute of the film. I want to know everything that's going on.
Okay.
But that's just a personal thing.
The best like internet meme I've seen recently is somebody posted something about Interstellar, saying like it's the clip of him at the end meeting his daughter. He's like, it's like 5 out of 5 stars. The best part of Interstellar that I liked is that he doesn't give an absolute shit about his son, because technically his son's like in the timeline or whatever. And I was like, dude, that's genius. But that's the thing too, when you're watching the movie, you're not even thinking about his son. You just kind of forgot about him, and you're like,
I think his son dies. I think he's dead.
Does his son die?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think his son's dead at that point.
I've only seen Interstellar twice, but
Same.
And little did we know that son was going to be the next biggest star of Hollywood.
Timothy Chalamet.
Dude, he's killing it.
Was the younger actor that played the son before Casey Affleck.
oh, is that
Casey
so? That's
Affleck's
his
good.
character. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
that is
so it
him.
was Timothy Chalamet, and then when he's grown up, it's Casey Affleck, and then I think he dies before Cooper gets back to.
He doesn't ask about it. He's
I
like,
think it's
"Hey,
I think it's quickly
grandma,
mentioned. It's
daughter."
implied. He doesn't care though. Yeah, he's just what? But no, I agree. I think I would say I do like the reveal at the end. I think but I think some movies they lose the plot. And the whole movie, you're like, you get out of it because you're just like, what the hell is this? Like, what am I watching? Because you have no idea. Like, it just doesn't tell you. And you, instead of watching it and enjoying it, you're trying to figure out, did I miss something? Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to piece it together now instead of watching it. And then at the end, it's like, oh. But some movies do it, I think, beautifully, which Interstellar is one of them.
Yes.
In my mind, I think it does it very well. But then others, yeah, it takes forever to get to the point. And horror, I think, gets thrown around a lot. I'm a huge supernatural horror. I think is the best genre of horror, or section of it in my mind. Slashers, no. I don't think people are scary. I think people are evil, but not scary. And horror, in my mind, is scary. But scary gets thrown around too much and too often that anything can be scary, right? You put a guy in a mask, oh, that's scary. Like, no, that's not. That's just weird and creepy, I guess. Like, killing is not scary. So, like, slasher films for me are not scary. That's not horror. That's I guess body horror is I think that's a different thing. But supernatural stuff, like stuff you can't explain in horror, is where I kind of like. I like, because there is scary in that if it's done well. And then cosmic horror is a different genre, which kind of tiptoes the line between supernatural and then just far-fetched shit. Like, what is this?
Aliens.
Yeah, alien. And I think it depends on how you do it, but I do think horror is thrown around too often just to get people engaged, when in reality it's not horror at all. It's just weird.
I have one case I can make for horror, because I can agree and disagree with you at the same time on that, is that it's popcorn entertainment until a perfectly written horror story comes along.
Oh,
and then
the
it
best
goes
movie
like,
ever.
like Get Out, the original 28 Days, like later.
Weapons was really good this year. I really liked Weapons.
I do like
Weapons
Weapons.
was interesting,
It was
yeah.
definitely an interesting take on. They didn't go the way I thought it was gonna go.
Not
Like,
at
I
all.
didn't see just the way it went. I was like, oh, this is okay. Sick.
It's hilarious.
We're into it. Yeah,
It's hilarious. I love when a movie can do that.
100%. Yeah.
But yeah, let's end it off with this. I want to know if you had to just pick one movie. Doesn't have to be the best movie you've ever seen. Just one movie that's, let's say, your favorite, and would say, who is Rico, who is Chris? This is my movie. And then also, following that up, favorite director.
You want to go?
I'm thinking.
I can go first.
Yeah.
Everyone knows, if you watch the podcast, my favorite movie is Good Will Hunting. I mean, I think it's just the greatest script of all time, and the acting is amazing. love Matt Damon. Just everything about it. I just, it's a therapist movie. No action. The worst fight scene in movie history, I would pitch. But it's so down to earth. It's so just two people sitting across from each other, and I'm hooked the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my one, and I just, I connect with Will Hunting a lot. Like, I feel like, I'm a super genius sometimes, but also like get my own way. So love Good Will Hunting. And then my favorite director of all time, probably Coogler. I love Coogler.
Okay.
Sinners, just, I'm from New Orleans, so just seeing where all that stuff was shot, that kind of just made me commit to say, hey, Coogler's my favorite director. I think Nolan's the best director of all time, like, respectively. But yeah, my personal pick would got to be Ryan Cougs.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. Favorite film of all time, like, would be the entire franchise of the Lord of the Rings, because I just see it as a whole movie. But out of those three, it's probably gonna be actually Return of the King. Most people like Two Towers.
Return of the King's the third one.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, I've seen that probably more than I've seen most films. I've, funny enough, I'll like be on YouTube and I'll just like replay clips from that movie and I'll just get stuck. I'll end up like watching them. But no, I think it's from front to back. It's just, that's how you tell a story. As far as like directors go, the two that I liked for a while were Nolan and Tarantino. But the one I admire a lot right now that I'm like as I'm getting older, I'm like I appreciate it more is Fincher.
Yeah.
Most of his stuff,
Great
I think
choice.
Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, his Netflix movie The Killer, both incredibly like well directed movies. Not a big fan of Social Network, but I could see, like, I know it's a hot take, but I still enjoy it for what it is, like, in terms of that. But yeah, it's like you
Fight Club.
I think you can see from like his first films till now, his style is like one of those that just kind of bleeds over, just like Tarantino or Nolan. So, but yeah, I from like an adult standpoint, it's I think he's like probably my favorite director.
Do you think Tarantino's the best writer?
I don't know.
I would think so. For dialogue, I mean, his dialogue. So
I think his characters obviously like pop out more than anybody else, which is cool. So I mean, like I could tell you like maybe like two characters from like Nolan films that are like prevalent kind of thing. But yeah, like Tarantino, you can name off like 10 or 12
most iconic people, and
Yeah.
he's got 3 lines in the movie.
He's really good at characters, like making characters,
Mhm.
because that's what when you think of a Tarantino movie, you think of the characters,
Mhm.
and then the movie, which is a testament to his writing. So yeah.
But you, Rico?
Director, I would say Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
But
hard not to.
mainly because he's not afraid to try shit. All his movies are grand in scale, or not all of them, but he has this ability to have a really human story masked with the spectacle of a film, right? You have The Dark Knight, which he's able to take the spectacle of Batman and condense it into a story that you feel for Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And then same thing with Interstellar, you have the spectacle of space and all this time stuff going on. But he's able to mask in there, have a very compelling human story of a coop. And then Tenet, however you feel about that, the spectacle of I know it's not time jumping or whatever Tenet is about, but he's able to mask it with, or in there have a really human story. So he's able to do both the spectacle of a film, which I think is what film is about or can be about, but also have a human dramatic story in it, which is what I like am compelled to. Like I want to know why this person
Who we connect with.
Yeah. And then my favorite movie is The Princess Bride of all time. And that's because I think it is perfectly embodies what acting is and what it can be. It's about having fun and fucking around and finding out. And it doesn't take itself too serious. But again, at the core of it, it's a very compelling story, right? Of love. And it has all these themes of sacrifice and dramatic irony and all this stuff. But it's masked with humor and just kind of the absurdity of acting. But yeah, for me, it's a great story, but also it wraps in a nice package what acting is.
Great choice. Well, thank you guys for coming on. We're going to have the links dropped in the bio. Go check out Only Space and Time. Weight of Power's coming out soon. Thank you guys for watching. and that was fun.
Thanks for having us on.
Thank you.